Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a wild little story called The Great Village Flood and the Broken Tempo. It's one of those tales that kicks off with this innocent, super joyful rainy day, but then, literally within minutes, spirals into absolute chaos and just pure panic. So let's just jump right into the madness. Seriously? How on earth did a fun rainy day turn into a fight for survival against a massive flood, a busted auto rickshaw, and a giant elephant? Well, today we're going to trace the exact timeline that takes our characters from splashing around in puddles to literally fleeing for their lives from nature's wrath and wild animals, all at the exact same time. I know, it sounds completely absurd, right? But as you'll see, it's just this perfect storm, where one frantic decision leads right into the next. You know, every great disaster story needs that calm before the storm, and this one absolutely delivers. The story opens with this incredible false sense of security. You've got the kids, Chintu and Chinky, and they are absolutely loving life. They're out there splashing around, bathing in the rain, and singing Rim Jim Rim Jim, which is just a classic joyful celebration of the monsoon. They are completely and utterly oblivious to the massive environmental disaster that is heading straight for their village. As the audience, we know something bad is coming, but hey, the characters are just out there enjoying the weather. But man, does that panic set in fast. We are looking at a super rapid escalation arc here. So minute 1, just joyful rain. But by minute 2, a river dam upstream totally breaks. And then, at minute 3, the real absurdity kicks in. The warning to the village doesn't come from, a siren or a weather radio. Nope, it comes from a giant elephant sprinting past yelling at the villagers to run for their lives. By minute 4, the floodwaters are actively surging right into the streets. It leaves the characters with absolutely zero time to process anything rationally. They are forced into immediate, pure instinctual reactions. So how exactly do the characters respond to this? Well, one of the kids literally says, "If lots of water comes, I will swim and catch big fishes. It will be so much fun." I mean, that is just comedy gold. The entire village is being warned of imminent catastrophic destruction, and these children possess absolutely zero survival instincts. They hear the word flood and their brains instantly translate that into giant swimming pool with free fish. It perfectly captures that pure, hilarious innocence of childhood colliding head-on with a massive natural disaster. Which brings us to these wildly contrasting perspectives. On one hand, you have the kids who just want to swim, play, and catch fish. They are actively resisting evacuation because they love their home and just don't see any danger at all. But on the other hand, you have the mother, who is the absolute grounding force of reality in this story. She is in full-blown panic mode, frantically packing bags and ready to abandon the house like yesterday. This dynamic is so funny because one character recognizes the severe life or death stakes while the others are treating it like a game. The mother isn't just fighting the flood, she is literally fighting her own kids' blissful ignorance. At one point, the kids actually suggest just hiding on the roof. But the mother immediately shoots this down. And honestly, her logic is pretty sound for someone in a complete panic. The water is rising way, way too fast. If they get trapped on that roof and the house goes completely under, they are done for. She tells them basically, look, if we stay alive, we can always build a new house later. We have to get out of this village right now. But to flee the village, they obviously need a vehicle. Enter the Tempo. Now, for those who might not know, a Tempo is a 3-wheeled auto rickshaw. It is a fantastic little vehicle for navigating crowded city streets, but let's be real, it's generally not designed to outrun a raging, catastrophic river flood, but it's all they have. This totally sets up the vehicle as a crucial character in our story, one that is heavily relied upon, yet highly, highly unreliable. So with the water rising, the mother forms her grand escape plan. Step 1, pack the resisting kids and their bags into the Tempo. Step 2, hit the main road out of the village. And step 3, shift into 5th gear. Now, we just have to appreciate the frantic ambition of step 3 for a second. The mother is so desperate to escape that she is fully intending to attempt high-performance street racing maneuvers in a wobbly 3-wheeled rickshaw. It's just this perfect blend of high stakes and absolute absurdity. 80. The mother boldly announces to her now terrified children that she is going to push this little Tempo to a speed of 80 to outrun the rising waters. She is hyping herself up, she's hyping the vehicle up, and for a brief second you almost start to believe they're actually going to make a clean Hollywood-style getaway. But, as in any great comedy of errors, excessive confidence is always the immediate precursor to a massive downfall. And boy, here is that downfall. She hits that magical 5th gear, and what happens? The Tempo instantly breaks down, just completely dead. The engine absolutely refuses to restart. To make matters worse, the floodwaters finally catch up and are literally swirling around the doors of the vehicle. And as if that wasn't enough, a giant elephant, yep, the very same one that warned them earlier, is now totally panicked and charging directly at their broken down Tempo. Talk about bad luck. So, how in the world will they survive this impossible trap? They've got a dead engine, rapidly rising floodwaters, and a panicked elephant bearing down on them. The characters are completely boxed into an impossible corner. They can't drive away, they can't swim to safety, and they definitely can't stay put because an elephant is about to crush them. At this point, you absolutely have to know what happens next. Well, the mother's solution is both incredibly touching and deeply, deeply absurd. In a moment of pure maternal desperation, she tells the kids to literally climb onto her back and sit on her shoulders. She declares that she might drown in the floodwaters, but as long as they stay on top of her, they're gonna survive. She is literally offering to become a human raft for her children. It is this incredibly dramatic, highly emotional sacrifice that is just dropped right into the middle of a wildly chaotic comedy sketch. They abandon the broken Tempo to make a run for it on foot. But think about it. Where can they possibly run in a completely flooded village? The water is literally everywhere, their trusty escape vehicle is dead, and a massive animal is hot on their heels. What an absolutely incredible way to build tension. It leaves us completely hooked. Thank you so much for joining me to explore.